This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, this is Bill O'Brien, 9th District Councilman, Chairman of the Parks and Recreation Committee, calling to order the September 2nd, 2021 meeting at 6:08 p.m. Can we have a motion to approve the minutes of regular meeting June 3rd, 2021 and the special August 4th, 2021 meeting?
It's Rick Marcone, so approved.
We have a second. Gary, you second?
Yep.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, passes 5-0. Can we go out of order here and go to new business? Town bid 2022-13. Chad, did you want to talk about that?
Yes, sir. Chad Esposito, Park Superintendent for the town of Stratford. They're proposing as the bid proposal to do some park improvements down at Juliet Low, a continuous walk path throughout the property, some new benches, garbage cans, a parking area, I believe, and then removing the old structure, the old metal structure in front of the new metal pavilion, and then doing some roof work on the remaining metal structure that will be incorporated as part of that looped cart path. So the bid amount came back for $63,200, which fits the budget. So we're looking for a motion to approve and send to council.
Chad?
Yeah.
Excuse me. This is Aileen Marsh, recording secretary. Bill, you want a motion to approve and send to the town council with a favorable recommendation? Mayor Hoydick signed a contract for town bid 2022-13 with Titan Enterprises Inc. in the amount of $63,800 for Juliet Low Park improvements.
Okay, we need a motion.
This is Rick Marcone. If nobody's made a motion to accept that, I will put that forward.
To send it to the town council with a favorable
Town council
recommendation.
with favorable recommendation.
Second.
Did you get that, Aileen?
I did, thank you. And then if you could just vote on the 2022 meeting schedule after this.
Okay, we will.
Hello,
But
all.
any
Rez is here.
any discussion? Chad, this is, I think previously had been planned and it was part of CIP money.
Rez is here.
I'm not exactly sure where the funding has come from. I can't answer that, Bill.
Okay, but we did have it in the budget. Okay, if there's no further discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, passes unanimously. Thank you. And then we'll go to the schedule for the coming year, 2022. Aileen, did that go out to everybody?
Yes, sir.
And it's pretty much staying the same, 6 p.m. on
Mhm.
the first Thursdays. So do we have a motion to approve that?
I'll motion to approve the calendar for 2020.
Thanks, Gary.
Second by Rick Marcone.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Say aye. Any opposed? Okay, passes unanimously. Thanks, Aileen, for getting a jump on that.
Great, thanks, guys.
Okay, now we can go back to the beginning, right? Report of the park superintendent.
Chad Esposito, Park Superintendent, Town of Stratford. Parks has been busy. It's the middle of summer and, all of our mowing, trimming, getting schools ready for the fall, getting playgrounds all set, getting all of our stuff. Now this week we started field preps for, fall sports, for high school fall sports, for youth athletic fall sports, working with Amy and Sterling House and all of these different fields, getting them in, getting them painted. The 7 inches of rain didn't help last night, trying to get everything this weekend, but the permit holders are understandable, and we got some fields in, we're getting some more in, we'll have them in next week. The Longbrook tennis bids came back. Between the engineers and Renee are reviewing the bids and the alternates to make sure that it fits our budget and that the scope of work gets done of what we want to accomplish in there for the 4 post-tension concrete courts. We're working on swing set installations through Stony Brook Park, High Park, Lordship School, and we're also working on the Nichols Playground too. I had heard from, the playground company from the factory that we were going to get a delivery on August 12th for the Nichols Playground. That never happened. They called back and said they were behind on other deliveries, and I still haven't gotten a delivery date for the actual parts for the playground. So we're hoping that they come soon, that the playground could still get put in before the end of the season, because it is going to be a pour in place rubber surface and not fiber. So that takes only to a certain temperature before they can't pour it anymore. So we're waiting to see what happens with all of the issues in shipping and transits and all of that stuff. That's probably all I have, unless there's some certain questions on anything specific.
Chad, this is Bill O'Brien. I had a few things. Can you give us an update on the Bunnell tennis courts?
Chad Esposito, Park Superintendent. Yes, they were able to take down the old surface. They were able to remove the old surface, grind into like a scratch surface so that paint sticks to it better. And they have the base coat of the entire court, and then the court colors for the 4 individual courts. They did that from Sunday and Monday into Tuesday, and then with the rain yesterday, they kind of went on hiatus, but they do have some paint down, which is great. They're hoping to finish, this week with the favorable weather conditions. They should get it done and buttoned up in the next week or so, and then it'll be usable.
And they'll also line it for pickleball at this time?
Yes, once they start doing the court lines, they do the pickleball lines too. Yep.
Great. And then I went by Flood and I noticed some goalposts. What's that all about?
So we have Amy could probably tell you a little bit more, but we have a group, an out-of-town group that uses Flood Field for rugby. So we paint a field for rugby so that they use it about 6 or 7 times throughout the season, the fall season. So, that's what those posts are for.
Do we charge them anything?
Yes, we charge them the field fee. We charge them the fee for Chad's crew to mow and line the field, and we charge them for the materials. So they're paying. And then my hope is that they'll work with us in spring and maybe do a rugby program for us for youth.
Good. Okay. And then Chad, you mentioned Stony Brook Park. I had put a request in to Renee, and she was going to reach out to Tom to have a couple of park signs put up like we have at other parks. Would you know anything about that?
No, I don't really know where they stand on that because it comes from the highway division on the sign department.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that request came from somebody that reached out to me as chairman of the Parks and Rec Committee, so I'll follow up. And then final thing, maybe something about the King Street turf field. Ken had told us, I guess there was a delay, but they're finally going to do it in the next week or two.
Whoever the contractor is, they've been working day by day. They were actually even out there today restitching the turf back into the ground. So I'm not really involved in the project, but I see that there's work going on. So they were rolling it, getting it back down to level or whatever the surface was, and working with the turf and stitching it into the ground. So they're moving on it.
All right, good, thanks. Anybody have any other questions? If not, thanks, Chad, and we'll move on to Amy.
Amy, unmute yourself. Amy, we can't hear you.
Got it, sorry. Amy Nor, Recreation Department. So summer is over, summer camps are done. It was a good season. We employed a lot of high school kids. But now we're moving on to fall programs. We're going to be starting in the next 2 weeks. We're going to be doing a lot of different things. We're doing track and field. We're doing basketball. All of our programs are going to be outside. Per request, we're going to attempt to do a short men's fall softball. As of now, I only have 4 teams signed up, but I can do it with 4 teams as long as they're okay with that. We're starting signups for hopefully indoor volleyball, bringing that back. I have a meeting with the schools next week to just confirm that we'll be able to go in there. And indoor pickleball, we're starting sign up for that at Birdseye. We're also going to go back to do our after school program, which we did do through COVID with a lot less numbers, but we're going to be doing that again. And then our co-ed volleyball, beach volleyball is finishing up next couple weeks with playoffs, and the men's softball championship is also finishing up next week. El Grasso Pool is, we have a little bit of a lifeguard shortage with a bunch of them going back to college, and the high school kids, we have a lot of girls are in swim season, and even the boys we have are playing fall sports. So we are going to be open 3 days a week at Ella, down from the 5 days a week. We're going to see how that goes. If we're not being able to, fulfill the demand, I'm considering doing some swimming on Saturday or Sunday when I have more guards. We continue the pickleball, tennis ball, paddle tennis reservations online, which are going well. Beaches are open until September 6th when they will close, so this will be our last weekend. We're still handing out resident beach stickers to people because they're also the same stickers for the dump. Pavilion rentals are continuing through the fall. We're starting fall jobs. We're posted for kids to come. If anybody wanted to work in the summer and didn't, they can reapply in the fall. And we're also looking for lifeguards. We have big events coming up, the Down and Dirty, the Latin Festival. We have a Touch a Truck. And I think that's pretty much it. Like I said, I'm meeting with the Board of Ed next week about just confirming we can get into the schools. And Birdseye is open, but at this point, I'm doing all of my programming outdoors. With COVID, it's just safer and easier. So, anybody have any questions?
Amy, this is Bill O'Brien. Do you think we can scratch the ordinance regarding beach sticker attendance from the agenda?
I wasn't aware. Yeah. I don't have a problem with it because Aileen could probably speak to it better than I do. I think the ordinance, if you remember from last year, told us we had to have beach sticker checkers there through September 30th. And as you know, Bill, we discussed that in the past, and we did do that last year, and nobody comes to the beach after Labor Day, believe it or not. Very, very, it's actually costing us money to have people there. So, and I don't have it in my budget to keep people there past September 6th.
So what do you think, Aileen? Can we just scratch that?
This is Aileen Marsh, recording secretary. You can take it off the agenda. I won't put it on for next month. And then since it is an election year, you're probably better off revisiting it in February 2022 after the council gets their feet wet. And that would give this committee time to make, if it wants to make a recommendation to change, so it can be sent to the town council, so it can be sent then to the ordinance committee to make the final change before the rec department has to start checking on Memorial Day, or the Friday Memorial weekend next year.
Thanks, Aileen. Sounds like a plan.
Okay.
And if there are no questions for Amy, I guess we'll go to new business. There was one other item I guess we need to discuss. Let me see here. I received an email, and so did Ken and Amy from Dan Brailsford about volleyball. I guess we wanted to briefly discuss that if we could. Do you want to jump on that first, Amy, or did Chad want to talk about that?
Sure, I'll jump on it. So co-ed volleyball, beach volleyball started this summer. We were off the previous summer due to COVID. And when I had new staff working, because the old staff wasn't there anymore, we realized a lot of the equipment was either missing or old and damaged. So we started, number one, with replacing the lines, which took some time because the wrong size was ordered. We got the new ones ordered. At that time, I had met with Dan. He had mentioned the nets were not in great shape. So, which they weren't. I looked at them. He was right. So, one thing at a time. I said, let's get the lines first, and then I'll order the nets. So we went ahead. I met with Chad. We have, there's a process. He has to measure them. We have to make sure we buy the right nets. They're going to fit the poles we have. So we placed our order through Blanchettes. Meanwhile, Dan had mentioned that he wanted to get them sponsored by businesses, which I had explained to him. This process for that has to go to the Park and Rec Committee, has to go to Town Council. We can't just take money from businesses to do that. But meanwhile, I don't think I needed it. I had the money in the budget, and I could order the nets myself. So I did that, and the new nets went up after July 24th. But meanwhile, Dan did go out on his own and still collected money from businesses, which, as you all know, I cannot accept, without permission from this committee and permission from town council. So I guess that brings us here because Dan must have emailed you, Bill. But as far as I sit from the rec department, we have brand new nets up. They've been replaced. We have brand new lines. So there's really no need for money to buy nets when I already have them. I don't know if Chad wants to chip in.
We saw the email too, Bill. He's asking for, there was a pole that was left over that in previous years, there was never the need for more courts. We had the 4 or 5 courts plus the court down at Pavilion 1. So there was a rogue pole left. What Dan, I think, is asking for is that court to be set up plus an additional court to be set up, which kind of bites into, the overall beach area and square footage. So, I would like to hear what he has to say or how he has to say or numbers that are using it, through Amy and I, and through this commission or through this committee, decide if that's something that we want to move forward with, if it's a priority or if it's not a priority.
So I think at this point, maybe we would add it to the agenda for October and invite Dan to come and make a presentation. That makes sense to you and Chad and Amy?
Chad Esposito, Park Superintendent, absolutely. Because it's something that we have to weigh in, we have to measure it out, see how far it's going to go into the beach, see how close it's going to be to, this. I mean, they do play in the evening. I don't know if the lights are a factor or not. So if you add more courts, the lights won't shine. There's just some logistics that we would have to work out.
Okay, and the season's over and we have until next summer, right, to move on this?
Yes, the season, they have 2 more weeks, just playoffs. But like I said, they have the brand new nets are up. They have enough courts to have playoffs. So it's definitely a next year item, I believe. But my concern, and I know Dan's not allowed to speak in this meeting, is he collected money from businesses, and I think that money should be returned until we can make a decision as to what we're doing.
Yeah, makes sense. So I think that's what we'll do, Aileen. We'll put it on the agenda for next month and then invite Dan to make a presentation.
Okay.
Okay, anybody have any other new business? If not, any old business?
Bill, I have one more new business item that
Okay.
I'd like to put on the agenda or just start a conversation about. I spoke with, this is Chad Esposito, Park Superintendent. I spoke with Amy briefly, and I was looking at fields and usage and efficiency and stuff like that, and looking at Flood Field, the large field that's on Chapel Street, the supposed 90-foot field is not really a 90-foot field. If you try and make it into a 90-foot field, the out of bounds extensions or go up into the hill on Chapel Street, that side, or go into the woods along where the power lines are. So, you know, in my experience, I've been here for 10 years. The last time I think that was used was maybe my first or second year with Dave Johnson with a freshman team from Bunnell. I mean, Amy, you know, could say if there's anybody permitting that field, but I don't think anybody's permitting that field. It's used more for soccer now, lacrosse, this rugby field. I mean, it's used more as a grass sports field and not really a baseball field. So I'm suggesting maybe the committee consider removing the backstop, removing the infield, and just extending the grass so that we could put more grass type sports in that corner, whether it's another large soccer field or another smaller soccer field or something. It's just, you know, one of those things that it's not really being utilized as a baseball field and kind of wasted space because we have to go in there constantly and remove the grass that's grown on the infield and get it back to where it is, and nobody's really using it to, you know, to keep the grass and all that stuff down.
Yeah, this is Bill O'Brien. I go by there all the time, and I did not see anybody on that field all summer. And I guess Amy could comment if anybody does permit it, but I just also going by a couple times and it looks great because of the work your guys did on it. And what a waste if it's not even being used. So it's definitely something worth discussing. And how about the other field? I guess it's more of a softball field opposite that. Does that get use?
That gets, I mean, it definitely gets used once a year for the teacher-student softball game. So
Okay.
because of the location and proximity of that field, it kind of fits. And I have no problem keeping that one and keeping that one going. We actually have to do a renovation to it to raise it so that it's not so hollow and it keeps all the water. But having both fields there is kind of counterproductive. It's the big field really doesn't get utilized at all, you know, in my opinion. I mean, Amy could definitely let us know, you know, strategically, yes, it's permitted by the Eagles on Mondays and every season, but I don't really think it's being used or utilized.
Baseball field hasn't been used since I've been there because it's really not usable for teams to play. We use Worcester, which is beautiful. They do a great job with it. And now that we have Bunnell turf and Penders, you know, we're good at 90-foot baseball fields. And really, you can't even use it anyway because, like as Chad said, be out of bounds and it's just too close to the woods and the power lines. So I think we would get much better use out of it as a grass field. They're always looking to have a smaller lacrosse field put in over there for use, or even another soccer field. So definitely, and now with rugby using it, it would be great even to, you know, hopefully I'm looking to start something kind of rugby in the spring. So I'd love to do something like that too.
All right, thanks. So Aileen, do you want to put that as a separate agenda item or just leave it as part of Chad's report?
No, I'll do it as a separate item.
Okay.
Do you want to do anything about that or just have it be his statement?
What do you think, Chad?
I would definitely like to, you know, just review it, come up with some solutions and stuff like that on how we can utilize the space. And then this way here, we have a formal presentation and then you guys could vote and weigh in and make sure that everybody's on the same page. That would be probably the best way.
So if you want, Bill, this is Aileen Marsh, recording secretary. Bill, if you want, we can add that as an existing or continuing item under Chad's report.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
Thanks.
Great. Yep.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Okay, any other new business, any old business? If not, where's Rick Marcone when we need him?
Let me just unmute myself there. I don't have my signs with me today. So I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Do we have a second? I
Perez.
think,
Perez Palmer seconds the motion.
Thank you, sir.
any discussion? Okay, oh, just before that, let me make a note. The next meeting is Thursday, October 7th at 6 p.m. We'll probably meet in person, but we'll see how things go. And all in favor of adjourning? Any
Aye.
opposed? All right, thanks, everybody.
All right.
Take care.
Thanks, guys. Good night.
Yeah.
Good
Have a
night.
good one.